Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Yazwan Aiman bin Yaakob, and today I'll be presenting to you my research proposal entitled An Evaluation of Nasheed Competition Using Fuzzy Logic Approach. Without further ado, let's start. Starting with the introduction. I'll begin with the background of the study. The definition of nasheed means poetic melodies, which derive from Arabic word anshada. The purpose of nasheed is Islamic devotional music with lyrics praising Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala and embrace religious teachings. The history of nasheed was performed in between Quran reading session prior to World War II. The language of nasheed was originally sang in Arabic, later on translated into Malay. The popularity of nasheed at that time became a medium for dakwah, causing the Ministry of Education Malaysia initiated nasheed competition for public schools. So the aim of this study is to create another alternative method to evaluate the nasheed competition using fuzzy logic approach. Next is the problem statement. The current marking scheme has a few disadvantages, where it is difficult to measure subjective aspects when they are ambiguous. The judges have dissimilar attitude, experience, and tolerance. This creates elements of fuzziness in the result score as it only considers the average score from the judges. Hence, the judges may feel dissatisfied with the scores, causing the participants may perceive the competition to be very unfair. Moving on to the objective of the study. The main objective of this study is to implement an alternative approach for measuring the scores in the nasheed competition by using the fuzzy logic approach. There are three sub-objectives in this study. First one is to identify the score of Munshid performance based on the nasheed competition. Second one is to maximize the participants' satisfaction with their own outcomes based on their own outputs. And lastly is to create the easiest way to calculate the total marks of the contestants. Here we have the scope of study. This study is limited to the nasheed competitions that evaluate performance by four criteria. The four criteria I will tell you later in the literature review. This study will focus only on nasheed competition in Kedah between the year of 2015 and 2019. This brings us to the significance of the study. You may ask, who will benefit from this research? Firstly is the findings of this study will benefit the future researchers, and the findings of this study can assist judges in properly evaluating the results for the upcoming nasheed competitions. So now we have come to the second chapter of this study, which is literature review. Here I will tell you more about the nasheed competition. Nasheed has been globalized with pop nasheed, which attracts the younger generation. The Ministry of Education initiates nasheed competition in public schools as a part of curriculum to instill good morality in students. The nasheed competition can be divided into four levels, which include school level, district level, state level, and the highest level is the national level. The rules of the competition are regulated by the FNSS, also known as Festival Nasheed Sekolah-Sekolah, where primary level tournaments is open to students from the age of 7 years old to 12 years old, and the secondary level tournament is open to students from the age of 13 and 17 years old. In the nasheed competition, Each group must have 8 members and must be only from the same gender. Moving on to the elements in the Nasheed competition. According to the FNSS Nasheed competition marking scheme in the year 2020, the elements can be divided into 4 criteria. The first one is vocal with the mark of 30%. Secondly is lyrics with mark of 35%. Third is music with 15%. And lastly is performance with 20%. This brings us to a total of 100%. For the vocal element, the group is evaluated by the tone, pitch, the clarity of pronunciation, the harmony, and the tempo of the song sang by the group. For the lyrics element, the group must evoke a strong message and the morals of Islamic teachings. This is to preserve the origin and the purpose of nasheed. For the music elements, the judges seek creativity of music coordination, and the music must be performed live, and the group can only use permitted instruments such as conga, maracas, bongos, and other instruments. Lastly, for the performance elements, the judges seek uniformity and the group must have their own creativity for their movement. Note that in nasheed, dancing is strictly prohibited. Next, we have come to the applications of fuzzy evaluation method. The definition of fuzzy evaluation method is an evaluation method based on fuzzy mathematics. The importance of fuzzy evaluation methods are to capture the fuzziness and uncertainties in human judgment and provides an integrated framework that combines vague judgments from multiple stages of a product evaluation process. There are few previous studies that explains fuzzy evaluation method. Firstly, Patit et al. 2012 and stated that many institutions rely on teacher input that can depend on inaccurate, incomplete, and unknown information. The study found that fuzzy evaluation method is more accurate to assess the student's performance. Secondly, Fasanghari et al. 2008 and stated that fuzzy evaluation method is needed to gain accurate customer feedback as it able to collect numerical and subjective ratings from the customers. And lastly, Noraizi and Zurina 2007 stated that fuzzy evaluation method can provide an accurate ranking for the workers based on the result from fuzzy evaluation. Now we have come to the last chapter, which is methodology. Here we have the method for data collection. The data collection method is taken by a secondary data in a nasheed competition based in Sungai Petani, Kedah from the year of 2015 to 2019. The variables are voice, music, lyrics, and performance. Moving on, there are 4 steps for data analysis. First step is to normalize the marks, where the normalized value can be obtained by dividing the mark obtained with the total mark for each criterion. Second step is to develop the fuzzy membership function graph. The input value is mapped into the membership graph function to achieve the fuzzy membership value of that particular input value. Third step is to develop the fuzzy membership function graph shown by the formula in the slide. And lastly is to evaluate the final mark also using the formula shown in the slide. Lastly, it is a must to use the fuzzy grade sheet where it contains the 4 criteria the fuzzy membership value, the degree of satisfaction, and also the final mark. Now we have come to the end of this presentation. I would like to say thank you and Assalamualaikum.